There we go. I hit the thing. We're right on time.
In whose time zone?
Oh, okay. I never thought of that. Well, 5 a.m. in the East Coast, USA, so that'd be early. 9 o'clock for you, so that'd be late. And 8 o'clock for me, so that's late. An hour late.
Yeah.
What, no timer? No, that was a timer, Miro. You missed out on it. Look, I'll do it again. There you go. We are. There's the timer. There, just for you, Miro. You happy now? There's a timer. Yeah. I'm just waiting for it to hit YouTube's. Yeah, there's the timer. Okay.
Okay, there's the timer.
Yeah.
So Elmix, is that 11 a.m. or 11 p.m.?
Yeah, 11. Well, the closest clock I've got to that would be European because it's 5 a.m. in East Coast. So
That
that's
would
definitely
be
that definitely European.
11 would, yeah, 11 would be, well, unless it's 2300.
Well, no time zone matches that close anywhere else except for over the UK, which is 9 a.m. there. It's 5 a.m.
Yeah,
in the US, so there's no time zone over there. It's even close to 11 a.m. So it's
yeah.
definitely
I
European.
mean, South Africa or Eastern Europe.
Mm, that's later, so it'd have to be east of you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's either it's either southern stroke Eastern Africa or Finland.
Finland. Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
See, that was a good guess.
yeah. Um,
I had to go and drag
okay.
Sheepy out of Gems. Were you having a bit of
Uh,
fun down there, Sheepy?
I'll tell you what, I it's not so much fun, it's just more about honor. So I couldn't just leave and act like they had destroyed my argument. I had
Oh,
to take them through I had to take them through until they were silent so I could leave.
oh, sorry about that. I didn't check
No,
in to
it's
see what
okay.
was going on.
It's okay. I got Cypher recording it, so I'll be able to tune in later to see what they said. But the thing is that I always lull them into a false sense of security, and then I attack them.
And who
Um,
Who's they?
particular? And yeah, who's they this time?
Today it was a combination of Demok, Aaron, Witsit, and um, Flat Earth Data.
Aaron? You mean Aaron Armstrong or Aaron Moorfield?
Yeah, no. Aaron Moorfield, I think his
Yeah,
name is.
Moorfield's the
He's from
American one, American guy.
yeah. He's drunk as anything,
Oh
just
no.
cheerleading with pom
Yeah.
poms again. And yeah, no, it was interesting. We went through some pretty interesting topics that revealed just how little people held, knowledge on the subjects, and it was very, very funny.
Now that
Right
I
down to something like spherical excess, which was just very funny. Which it was adding only the first column of numbers. And didn't realize that minutes and arc seconds, arc minutes and arc seconds actually calculated the entirety of the observation. So
Yeah.
every time he was saying that they were just presupposing this and that, and then he's conceded and then jumped to the next thing. Very,
15,
very funny.
15 degrees per hour. I can understand Whitson. I can understand. Oh, yeah, Moorfield. Yeah, he sort of goes down that way, but in the order, Demok's just a I don't know. And then you got Moorfield, and then you got Who else was it besides Whitsit?
Flat Earth Data
Flat Earth Data,
came in.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I asked Witsit why I can't see Polaris, and he told me, you can't see forever. I said, why isn't? I said it's in the sky though, right? Oh yes. I said, why can't I see it if it's in the sky? He said, well, you can't see that far. I said, no, it's not even the direction of the sky. It says, it tells me to look through the floor. Look through the floor. Are you serious? I'm like, yeah, that's the direction. He's like, so you've seen it through the floor? I said, no, I've never seen it. Trying to trip me up, but very, very funny. Touted victory and then ran away. So it was,
So what's our
he
comeback
realized
usually?
very quickly.
What's our usual comebacks when they always? I know they've said it a few times. This we can't see too far thing. But,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's see the thing about Polaris's observation is it's not like oh, it's so far away, and as I get closer to it, it comes into focus. It comes up off the horizon, and the moment it's visible off the horizon, it's in clear view. It doesn't change a great deal of distance between the north and southern hemisphere, and that's the thing they can't understand. But they've drilled into their mind that it's about just too low on the horizon. I mean, yeah, here in New Zealand, it's minus 43 degrees south where I live, and it's it's literally like through my living room floor is the direction of Polaris. I mean, that's not a little bit below the horizon. It's just very funny, very very
Yeah,
funny.
it's they don't seem to be able to explain how it gets lower and lower on the horizon either, do they?
No, no, it doesn't seem to matter. Aaron then jumped from Polaris into southern star rotations and northern star rotations, and he said, well, has anyone ever seen this? I'm like, yes, 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 they have.
Yeah.
you know, and he said, well, how does that happen? I said, well, it's incredible. You point one camera south in the south, and in the north, you put the camera north. You know,
Yeah.
it's
What you
just
mean?
really
Just like myself and Paul Harrington did.
Peter. Yeah, I did.
Just
I
like
did.
my
Peter,
just
sorry,
like my
not Paul.
star
Peter.
rotation on my back of my avatar that's going the wrong way.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Terry, but like you want you wanted video, you wanted time lapse video that wasn't going to get you a copyright strike, didn't you?
yeah, yeah. No, it's fantastic the
And
way you
I,
overlaid them too, Alan. That's the best part of the video.
yeah, I
Um,
know. It's good, isn't it?
it's really cool. It's really cool.
I will change it when we get a southern version eventually.
It's all good.
But no
But
one's
no,
picked
I
up
find it
on it,
very interesting.
Sheepy. Even out in the peanuts, no one's actually. I don't know, well, unless they did ages ago, but they haven't been worried.
Yeah, yeah. It's going counterclockwise, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's just like stars moving behind the transparent flag, so it's all good. But no, it's I've been sucked back into that whole debate and argument. It's just so funny. I mean, like the flat earthers now um, are taking it upon themselves to be the new front runners, and they see someone like Whitsitt running his mouth and speaking a mile a minute. They're like, oh, we can do that. So they came in to watch him perform, and they were just others were just silent the whole time. So there's just flat earth in there listening. And if they had something to say, they would have stood up and said it. But very, very funny. Very funny. Right.
Did you have a guy the last couple of days? He's Warmer or something like that. His name is
Oh, Whammer. Yeah,
Warmer.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah. Whammer. He's an interesting one, Terry,
Mm.
because over on 24/7, he speaks with a lot of confidence about globers in general, and then when he's around people defending the globe, he's very, very different. But then Whitsitt comes along in that dynamic, and he starts getting a little bit, more brave. But left alone, he crumbles. And when questioning him about things that he said he'd look into, he claims he never saw that never looked at that. You're lying. I never said that, you know, because he's now got flat earthers in front of him, and he doesn't want to look bad in front of them. So it's very interesting. Guy lies to himself more than anyone else. So it's all right.
Yeah, well, they're coming out of the woodwork in places, but there's still the usual crowds around. But that Wammer bloke, I've never heard of him before. He's a
Yeah,
new
no, he
one.
used to hang out on 24/7. I think they spoke about Gems so much over there that he you know, he was intrigued to check it out, thinking, basically following the rhetoric that no one knows what they're talking about. They're all just, you know, indoctrinated globers. No one knows what they're talking about. He absolutely got wrecked, and then, you know, came back again. And, you know, if he can't get past someone like me, with my low level of knowledge, he has no chance to take on someone like rocket scientist or anyone with, you know, full degrees in the topics, you know. So that's it.
Yeah.
Miro
You know
says,
that
"Oh,
you know that saying. Have you ever heard of that saying? The whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
yeah, I have heard of that."
Yeah. Well, it's the opposite with flat earthers. The more you have together, the actual dumber the whole lot are.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
dirt magnetism.
You mean the sum of their
I'm just
parts
guessing.
leaves a hole?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'm just guessing the hole just gets bigger.
Yeah.
No, the hole's empty.
That's what I mean. Their hole just gets bigger.
Miro said the first time I noticed the stars are moving. Oh, I'm very observant. Yeah, good on you, Miro. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
awesome.
After all the effort I went to make that for you, Terry.
Yeah, I know. No one's ever mentioned it.
I think it's wonderful. Don't worry.
So, will we do a bit of reading? I don't know how much reading have I got today. It's not a lot because there's not a lot out there. So I was trying to find something that'll. Hopefully, this will have
What
something.
era are we up to?
Well, we're still in the industrial revolutions plural because there's more
Yep.
than one. So
Yes.
we're basically near the end of the first one, sort of coming up to the second one, I suppose, the late 1800s. And with the steam trains all basically developed by the late 1800s, some other vehicles started to come in on their own with the four-wheeled version, land vehicles. So there is some documentation or whatever you call it about the petrol engine, but I thought I'd just touch on the steam version of a car because there was some developments in making a four-wheeled contraption be motorised by steam. So they they thought they'd go that way to start with, and obviously we know they went in other directions as well. Okay, what do we
And of
got
course,
here?
we have to remember the very first moving steam engine didn't run on rails. It was technically a car that ran on the road. Trevivic's thingy didn't run on rails.
I thought I did have that here. Did I did I lose it? Yeah, I thought I'd play that one again. Where'd it go?
Oh, you
Yeah,
remembered, did you?
we did play it before, but I thought I still had the. I know the one you're talking about. I did find it, but oh, bugger. Yeah, we have seen that one, so I'd have to find that one. But anyway, what have we got here? Is that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's only 7 videos for watch later. Yeah, I thought I had the Trivix one there, but it doesn't matter. I did see it, I just didn't grab it. I grabbed the other ones. Right, so we want that. And we're able to get that to come up as that. Yeah, that should show it. Okay. And then that's all set. That's all set. Okay. And you want...
What is this plane flying around?
I know, I keep
Paul?
watching it going flying around.
I know, I keep bloody watching the damn thing.
Yeah, it's a bit addictive, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
a
I know.
stunt
It's
plane.
like, yeah.
A guy doing stunts from an air show that I went to a couple of years ago.
Oh, this is your actual footage. That's pretty cool.
No, that's Paul flying the
Yeah,
plane.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. It's a really good contrast between Alan's static pictures and this flying plane. I keep bloody watching the whole thing there.
Okay, I'll fix that. There you go. I'll put them together. Oh, wait a minute. That didn't work. Wait a minute. You're supposed to go over there. Wait a minute. There we go. That'll fix them.
That'll fix it.
Yeah, there you go. We'll have the planes on the bottom.
Yeah, it's cool. There it
You're
goes
on the-
again. I keep watching.
You're my right-hand man, Sheepy. See, you're on the right.
You just like look back at it and I'm like, don't. I'm watching it again. It's quite funny.
There you go. I like how you can move
It's a
them
steam-
around like that. The tiles.
It's a steam
Okay.
plane. Irish Juice says it's a steam plane.
That's steam plane.
Steam plane.
That'd be interesting, Stewie. A steam plane. I'll have to look into that to see if
Wouldn't
they
it?
actually did do that. It'd be interesting.
No, they did have steam-powered airships,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
a heavier than air aircraft because nobody has yet built a steam engine that can offer the power to weight ratio that you can get from the internal combustion engine.
Mm.
In fact, it's easier to do electric powered aircraft now than it would be to do a steam powered aircraft even.
Yeah. A little bit more reliable.
Here we go. Okay, this is just a little.
The way it
article
comes
I
right
have.
too close to the ground, that's just freaky.
There's a link in the chat to the original video if you want to watch it.
That's cool.
Okay. So what have we got here? The history of the steam automobile. Prior to the invention of the steam car, road transportation was relegated to horses and horse-drawn carriages. There was, however, an even growing desire to develop steam-powered or self-propelled vehicles that would not rely on animals. As far back as the 1300s. Well, inventors from Italy attempted to do that by designing vehicles that were powered by the wind, using a windmill design. Oh, jeez. Even inventions such as Leonardo da Vinci's envisioned self-powered vehicles and had a number of sketches designed illustrating their ideas. The first steam-powered car concept was, in actuality, a toy that was given as a gift to the Emperor of China by a mathematician and astronomer named Father Ferdinand Verbiest in 1672. The invention was the result of Father Verbiest's experiments with steam. However, due to its size, the invention was not capable of carrying human passengers. Okay. The first self-propelled vehicle was powered by steam and was actually a tractor meant to haul artillery. Some historians consider it to be the first steam-engined car, and it was developed by Nicholas Joseph Cugnot in 1769. This was a heavy vehicle that was extremely slow-moving. In addition to its slow gait, the vehicle was forced to stop every 15 minutes to build up steam. The impracticality of Cugnot's designs even made them prone to tipping. Although Cugnot eventually discontinued his work, his vehicles had an impact in terms of encouraging further development in steam engines and steam-powered cars. Cugnot's vehicles were followed by other advances in steam car technology. In 1784, William Murdoch developed a steam carriage. In 1789, Oliver Evans, it might be a relative of yours, Alan, received the first US patent for a steam-powered vehicle. Many of the advances in steam-powered travel and the external combustion engine were originally made in Britain. Those Brits would have to do everything, don't they? This was...
Mother Britain and everything.
This was hindered, however, when a law was passed in 1865 to protect pedestrians. This law required a man carrying a red flag must walk ahead of any land transit, self-propelled vehicle, shifting Britain's focus from land vehicles to locomotives. Inventor Armady Ernest Ballet was also a major inventor of steam-powered vehicles. It is Ballet that some historians credit as being the true first creator of the steam-powered automobile in 1873.
Wonder how many people carrying red flags got run over.
Yes.
That'd have been a dangerous job, that one.
Yeah, but how many people got run over before the red flags?
Yeah. Well, they were travelling at a 10, 15 mile an hour speed, some of them.
Yeah, they would have been going. No, they would have been going sort of far. Remember, most horse-drawn transport was only going at walking pace, but it would have been going at a trot speed for a horse, at least. So it was a lot faster than people would be expecting.
Yeah.
In that day and age.
Well, it's like today when you when you go across the road or whatever, and you see a car coming, you judge its speed by for the distance it's away, and you go, yes, I can cross the road. But if a car's coming, if you're not used to it, like back in those days, for something coming up the road, and you go to cross it, you're not judging the speed because you're not used to the speed that they were able to do.
Yeah. It's like when vehicles are speeding and you suddenly realise that's coming a bit faster than I thought.
Yeah, that's it. Right, where was I? Stanley steamer vehicles were created from 1899 to 1905 by twins Freeland and Francis Stanley. The Stanley vehicles were well received and outsold gasoline-based vehicles in the US. They were known for their power and their speed. In fact, they had set 5 world speed records in 1906. Other companies started to build steam-powered vehicles, including Locomobile and White. There were many risks associated with steam-engined vehicles, such as the fear of explosions, which hindered them from becoming a success. For these reasons, the popularity of steam cars began to dwindle by 1910. The steam car reached a high level of popularity in the United States and around the world, and one time during the turn of the 20th century, the steam engine car accounted for more than half of the cars on US roads. Although they eventually gave way to the internal combustion engine vehicle in the 1920s, steam vehicles played a major role in transportation history. The development of steam cars proved that self-propelled travel was more than a possibility. It revealed that many benefits associated with this type of travel and made people hungry for more and better options. Today, steam-powered cars are still honoured and appreciated by numerous clubs across the United States and Britain. I'm glad
one of my grandfathers drove lorries in London in the 20s, and it was a steam-powered lorry.
Okay.
Because they were still actually really popular right up until the outbreak of the Second World War. The main reason they fell out of popularity was after the war there was such a large number of surplus diesel-powered lorries around that they took over, especially for sort of like short local areas.
Okay. Now I've got a couple of little videos. They all run basically only for a couple of seconds or half a minute. There's one that runs for which one is it? The one that goes for 12 minutes. So put that at the end. That one. We don't need that one. Okay. Now this one, the first one we'll show. I'll share. Where are we? Is that the right orientation? Yeah, okay. This is a replica though, it wouldn't be the original, of a 1776 steam trike. Okay. Now this was back in 2011, this footage. I don't know if there's any sound, if it matters or not. Better switch it over to you so you can see it. Right, he's got that. And that's Terry's first car. That's what me rested. No, the one that was on the thumbnail, that was my first car. Well, you better get out of the way, you're going to get run over. I don't even think he's got it going at full speed. I think it's more of a novelty than anything else going.
I would not be standing that close to it. Look at these people.
Wow. I think we might just let it play that way because it's it plays it automatically straight from saved.
Oh
Might as well just
goodness.
let it do it that way. No. In your watch laters, it just
crazy.
plays it one after the other. So we'll just do it that way. But I need the information about it though. Steam car or vehicle battery dating from 1886. This is in Paris, I think.
Crazy.
Oh, that's going a bit faster. Oh, we're getting faster now. Get out of the way. The bloke's running with the flag. But the roads wouldn't have been tarred smooth like that back in the day, would they, Alan? They'd have been all cobbled and whatever type roads.
You'd have had a lot of cobbled roads, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure when tarmac started to be used, but yeah, I mean, the cities would have mostly had cobbled roads because they were
Not
hard surface
gravel?
roads.
It wouldn't have been any gravel, would it? Like dirt?
Well, outside of it depends. In cities, cobbles, pavers, you know, because obviously they'd want hard roads that weren't going to rut up. In the countryside, no, that would have all been just hard beaten dirt roads mostly, I would have thought.
So one of the first inventions for cars, once they started getting them going, would have been suspension.
I would hope.
How's he steering it? I didn't see. I couldn't see how he steered that. Like a tiller? Has it got a tiller? A tiller?
Tiller, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where he was actually steering it from.
Steering wheel didn't come into general use until the late 1890s, I think.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at that when we get into it. We'll see we can see what they were doing about that. I don't like the music, even though it's Creative Commons.
RS2 says tarmac was invented in 1902. There you go.
It seems to have a bit of a mixture of it, of steam powered in it, so.
Steamroller. That looks like an old fire engine.
Yeah, that's cute. A little bit like a miniature one. So that would have been like a tractor, I suppose. Yeah. Steamroller. What would you class that as?
Moon Fondle. This one is big. This one is far
away, yeah.
Oh, look at that thing. Really making it up to him.
Oh, I think he was just waiting for people to get out of the way.
There's a famous British steeplejump and TV presenter actually toured the UK in a tracking engine with a caravan hitched on the back. Fred Digner.
Pretty modern looking wheels on it. Not that one, but the one that was before.
Yeah. Well, some of them have to be replicas, obviously, or built partly off maybe original BBDs. I don't know.
I like the scrapers they have. Around.
What's that, Alan?
Yeah.
So the scrapers they've got to scrape the dirt and crap off the wheels as the wheels go round.
Yeah. Well, that's like on normal modern day ones, haven't they got that on there?
This blue one's cool. I like it. Sounds crazy though.
I guess, as I understand it, if you're into steam engines that you don't have anywhere that you can keep a full-size tracking engine, you can buy kits to build those little ones.
Yeah, I always wanted to have a little tabletop one.
See that little steam lorry?
Yeah.
That is very similar in design to the thing my grandfather drove.
Oh, there's even a smaller one on the back of there. Look.
That's cool. Incredible machine.
Yeah, but would they have drove them all the way to here? Like, it's a long way to bring. Like, you wouldn't be able to just throw it on the back of a load loader or something, would you?
well, the options you had were drive it, or maybe put it on a train for long distance. Transport, but that would be it.
You're a low
I don't know
loader.
what type
That
of
would
wear
be
and
your
tear,
two choices.
how often they had to give maintenance to them. Oh, this green one's pretty cool. Holy shit. At least like they can activate the scraper when they want to.
Yeah.
I want to see them all line up and go for a race.
But I mean, you can understand why you'd need a scrape for those. Because obviously with the metal tyres that they've got, and the fact that they're smooth, it's going to pick stuff up, and you're going to definitely want to get rid of it, because otherwise it's going to
Clog up.
make for a very unpleasant trip.
I thought it was maybe for horse manure in the old days.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're running around on paved roads, dirt roads, and you should be a little bit bouncing, but, you know, the dirt and mud systems that given the weight of the vehicles.
Hmm. Realistic.
I thought this was bigger than what I thought until I looked at the back and seen the people on the back of it.
Yeah, little kids. Yeah.
Well, this one's got a steering wheel.
Crazy, these little ones pull a whole family.
This one's got a steering wheel like a normal tractor.
Mighty in strength and endurance. Oh, that's the one from before.
It sounds like a train coming, doesn't it? You'd think, oh, where's this train coming from?
Look at those wheels. Quite
Yeah.
modern.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Very elaborate in their decorations on it for
Yeah, that one was-
functional form. You think, well, it's got a covering over the roof so you don't get wet.
That one seems to have all the bells and whistles on it. With the like the yeah, no, that's probably the most expensive looking one.
I've been
All
waiting
the
for
different gold on it.
oh, copper or brass. The ones I was happy to see that I'd point out to you that they actually run a drive belt off the side to run like a sawmill or something, or a lathe or whatever, something.
Oh, true.
I haven't seen one yet to point it out, that style.
Look at it's got like a big like, I don't know what, like almost like a C-clip for the wheel, but it's not a C-clip. It's like put it on and slide it and lock it into place. I wonder how heavy they are. I mean, trying to jack it up to put another wheel on. Pimp my ride, eh?
Yeah,
Pimp my ride,
yeah, Pimp My Ride.
1899. I reckon. That's pretty cool. Still though, like modern times being near something like that would still be quite unnerving, you know. I mean, if the thing blew up right when you were standing next to it, you get hit by a bolt or something, you know, it's not gonna be good. And look at it.
Could you imagine the WorkSafe crew telling you to put covers and guards on all of that stuff?
Yeah.
It's like all the spinning and like in this bit we just watched all the spinning gears and parts and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like all open.
Like that big flywheel with spokes, and like one hand in that,
Exactly.
and then be gone.
Right,
wouldn't it?
right next to those gears, they all. Yeah. I guess you get a few warnings there, right? You'd you'd hear like bolts and things, manifold cracking or something. You'd have a chance to run, but
I think, honestly, I think the main danger that ever came from steam locomotives or traction engines or any of those types of is boiler failure. That's a high pressure boiler.
what would that mean? Just the steam escaping, or boom? Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, that's. I think that's the. Well, Fowler was a British steam engine manufacturer. I'm guessing they licensed built in Germany as well. Then. That plate display.
It's a hell of a lot of engineering to go into it, like all the different clearances and movements, and it's not a simple machine. I guess the modern combustion engine is just, a lot more compact, but
I think that might be one with that might have the flywheel. They usually run it off the flywheel, I think.
oh god, look at that big thing right next to the driver.
Yeah, the flywheel.
Yeah,
At least that's an enclosed flywheel.
enclosed.
Yeah, it hasn't
next
got
to his
spikes,
head.
so it hasn't got spokes, so you can't stick your arm through it.
Oh yeah, but yeah, still right next to your arm.
And steering by chains.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hasn't got a
That's
steering
great.
wheel.
No, it has got a steering wheel, but you turn the steering wheel and it winds.
Oh, pulls the chain. Oh, pulls the chain there. Yeah.
Because that's how they all do it, steering by chains.
Not around.
What the?
Yeah, it's a little steam lorry. That's
Yeah.
what the steam lorries look like. I mean, obviously, he has to sit in the roadbed.
And
Like I said,
a little bit bigger too.
It's something like that, something very like that my grandfather drove in the 20s in London.
Yeah, well, I'm not playing
So
these.
they were still building them at that point.
I'm not playing these in any particular order. How long's this one?
This tiny little truck thing. So funny.
That's flying. That's flying along the road.
I think that's a proper. Yeah.
Look out! Look out! We can't stop.
Yeah. Brakes. What are they?
Ah! It rips around the corner.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast, actually.
That is going a bit quick.
Yeah, I mean,
Little wheels.
Yeah.
at that period, small steam engines were refined enough that they could produce as much power to weight as a internal combustion engine, just about.
Just came in on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, I think that was to avoid running over the
Cameraman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not run over the cameraman.
Yeah.
Where's the man in the red flag?
I don't think he'd be able to keep up.
No, he'd be running like hell, wouldn't he?
And I don't think it would have got up to these speeds back in the day for the roads, like we were talking about before, about the condition of the roads back then.
Well, this one probably would, because this looks like it's around the turn of the 20th century.
Did we have a year for this one? No. He's just on a test prior to the London to Brighton.
Yeah, well, London and Brighton basically means pre-World War I.
So imagine going out for a Sunday cruise in your steam car. Wait a minute, I've got to go and load all the coal and wood up first to get the boiler going. Yeah, see us in a couple of hours and then we can go.
Yeah, well, if you could afford a car, but if you could afford one of those back then, Terry, you could afford a man to get it ready for you.
Yeah, but you couldn't just all of a sudden just go jump in it and off you go. It'd have to be ready first thing in the morning, like before sunrise.
Well, yeah, but you'd have a man for that. You'd have a driver, you'd have a chauffeur, and part of his job would be getting the thing ready so that you could jump in it
Anytime.
and drive you wherever you wanted to go.
Yeah, because you might want to duck out at 12, 1 o'clock at night for a midnight snack down at McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
I did know.
When they're not driving on the wrong side of the road. That's one thing us Brits and the Aussies can agree on.
Yeah, we know how to drive on the right side of the correct side of the road. Yeah, there's a stupid reason why they went to the right-hand side of the road to drive. It's a stupid reason.
Yeah, the French decided to.
Well, we're getting it going. We've got steam. Does that music sound like it's copyright?
Yes. Yeah, the driving on the right is something you can blame on Napoleon, because he was instrumental in bringing that in along with the metric system.
Well, so we got one thing right out of the two.
Well, I don't mind. I'm bilingual.
Is there a generic term for that? For being imperial or metric? The way you... I wonder if there's a word for that. There'd have to be a word. Somebody have to have a word for that.
How is he turning?
Oh, I didn't see. I couldn't see him. There you go.
He's
He's
doing
got a
it
till.
too
Oh, he's
quick.
got a tiller with his left hand.
Yeah, they mostly have a tiller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd go well with the steering wheel, though. He's
Tiller steer.
Looks like a big pram.
Well,
As
of
it's
course,
like it's coming towards you.
Sheeples, what you got to remember is the coach builders built a coach that they would build for being towed behind horse, and then people put steam engines on them.
gives a whole new meaning to letting the car warm up. And Dartman said, "Oh, Colin McRae." Oh,
Yes,
Brady
Fred
says,
Knight
"Oh,
said,
correct metric, wrong imperial." Yeah, okay.
I guess these cars can literally run out of steam.
Imagine that for a
Yeah.
getaway.
Yeah.
Imagine that for a getaway vehicle from a bank robbery.
Whoa, look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Those wheels don't look like they're original.
I let the hot water out. That's crazy.
A lot of the very early
I don't think it had those
internal
wheels on it
combustion
originally.
engine cars also had tiller steers. So
How annoying for your passenger. They're like hitting them in the legs with the steering.
The first race was held in 20th July 1894. Just talking. No. The editor of the journal organised the show.
You really
126
hammered around
kilometre
the
distance
corner.
was covered from Paris to Rouen in France. Rouen. The steam vehicle Count de Dion finished the race first with a timing of 6 hours 48 minutes.
6 hours to travel
But the steam vehicle failed to meet the
26K.
criteria of the race. Oh.
Oh.
Finished second, the petrol-powered 3 horsepower Peugeot judged the winner. Oh, why was the steam one? I'll have to look
What?
into that one. What happened to the
That
steam
sounds
one?
a bit rigged. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Well, I think we're finished.
Failed to meet the criteria. That's crazy.
Oh.
3 horsepower Peugeot.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
horsepower. It would have been
Jesus.
flying.
Slow down.
Slow down.
Yeah.
And that would have
Slow
probably been a
down.
couple. That would have probably been a couple of litres displacement as well,
That's
There was.
bloody
if not more.
crazy. So I can
Okay.
travel 126 kilometers in about 86 minutes. Jeez. Modern technology.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a lot for now. We'll have to do. I'm still up. We're still working our way towards the vehicle. Like we've seen a taste of it there. So, but we'll get into the petrol ones soon. But there'll be a crossover point somewhere in the story where the petrol one come into it.
Hmm.
So we'll
Obviously,
find
they
out.
started small, right? 3
Yeah.
horsepower at the same
Yeah.
time as the steam engine. So they're like,
Yeah,
Well,
like
see,
I said, you could
the
get
petrol engine, even in its development, they had to overcome a few hurdles there for the stroke, the 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 what's the word for it? Air fuel mixture for carburation. You know, that
mhm.
side of it was even, and also the timing too. That was another hurdle they had to work out. Okay. What have you got
in
in
an early
here?
days, Sheeples, the power to weight ratio of a steam engine was actually a lot better than the power to weight ratio of an internal combustion engine.
Makes sense, yeah. They had
Do
a
you want
lot
me to
more
play? Do you want
practice
me to
at
play
it.
this video for everyone, Paul?
Oh no, you don't have to.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't have to then.
It's just there because people were interested in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of video.
You should upload it to YouTube.
Hmm.
Six
We're making a
hours.
video at the moment for the V2 rocket that took photos of Earth in 1947.
Yes.
I went through, took it all, took all the frames that show the Earth.
Yes,
Hmm.
Ablon. We'll touch on that too, because that was the thing between the two,
Yeah,
electrics and petrol. We'd still have, just on a bit of a spoiler, um, we'd still be driving around we'd still have, how would you put it? We would still be using electric vehicles right through if petrol what didn't take over, because electric vehicles were coming into their own until the internal combustion engine was there,
Oh,
but it was to
that's
do with the
interesting.
petroleum and oil that sealed the
well,
deal
I
for
didn't
the.
even
once
know that.
they got the internal combustion engine developed well enough, the energy density you could get into a tank of petrol always is going to beat the energy density you can get into a battery
Yeah.
Hmm.
per volume. So um, even now, you need a hell of a lot more volume of batteries to get the same energy as you're going to get out of a tank of petrol.
Yeah, but it was the oil
Yeah.
conglomerates and the for the petrol side of it which sealed the deal to kill the electric. I had read that article at one time.
That's interesting. And now we've got Tesla releasing, what is it, 600 horsepower
Hmm.
engine? Well, not horsepower, but equivalent. Like
And 0 to
engine
60 in
for
3 seconds or something.
yeah,
Well,
it's madness.
it's still 600 horsepower because you can measure engine power in kilowatts or horsepower. It doesn't really matter. It's just which way you want to define it. If you want to use metric or imperial units.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's coming out to replace. It's basically found a market to replace, a whole bunch of engines in American vehicles that were put in V8s and things like that. This basically fits straight in there. I was talking to Crash about it. He says it's pretty much going to revolutionize what he does for a living, in a bad way.
Yeah.
No more people blowing the engines up and what have you. It'll come down to the sound of the engine of a real car, versus some audio that plays when you drive.
Oh, the audio one, yeah, they had to put an audio sound in one of the electric vehicles because people were getting run over by them because you couldn't hear them. So they had to put an audio sound that came out of the vehicle so people could actually hear the car.
Yeah, I would have one that sounds like a Jetsons spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I would want. And it gets increasingly, higher pitch as I go up, and speed.
Oh, the Doppler effect is the thing, yeah.
It would be so funny by the time you get to a certain degree of, a certain speed, you're going along next to someone.
I'd have the sound of the TARDIS.
The TARDIS? Oh, okay.
Doctor Who's TARDIS, yeah.
Okay.
Or as it's driving along, every time it like changes in gear or whatever, I'd have it like make the sound of lightning striking. It would be awesome.
How about the sound of a horse with steel shoes on concrete? Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, and then you turn around and go, "Where's this horse coming from?"
That would be it. That would be awesome. And you pull the brakes on. It's like going around town, like town speed. You can't go much faster.
Yeah, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop.
Come up to the next light. Like, what's going on?
That's what happens when you push the horn.
Oh no, you get a brown plob come out the back of the tailpipe. Oh, sorry about that.
That would be so funny. People would be following the car just to hear it do that. Because like horses can trot, right? And then as they begin to get into a stride, they begin to gallop. So that's how it could go. It could trot along, and then Brainery. Imagine a city full of cars with customized sounds.
Have all different. Yeah, you have your own sound. Whatever you want.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Imagine the horns. That would be crazy.
Well, what about a Mustang or a Spitfire plane sound?
Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool.
No, because really the only way you should hear a Rolls-Royce Merlin is when it's a Rolls-Royce Merlin for real.
And Sheeples, if your car's an old crappy car, instead of a horse sound, you get
Yeah. A bit of a donkey.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Or you could even go back to what we were just watching then, and you could have the steam powered sound of your electric car.
Or you could or you could just like have a part where you can like add your own sounds. When you used to be a kid, you're like,
Cars making like. Yeah, I know. Like when you're a kid, you make those certain sounds. Yeah.
Straight through the brick.
Every time you go around a corner, yeah.
Oh, that would be funny.
Stu says the speedo should read walk, canter, trot. Oh, actually, it should be walk, trot, canter, gallop.
Yeah,
It?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that's the,
Yeah, moo moo.
and the break. Whoa! Oh, that would be funny. That would be so funny. You're like on the motorway doing the motorway speed, and your car's going. Oh shit!
Yeah, and the people from the future will look back historically and say they were crazy back in those days. They had to put sounds on their cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Hey,
In the
I think
future, the
Miro's.
cars will probably change color.
I think Miro's having a go at us, Cheaples.
Okay, when I made cars as a kid, I never thought my cars were going ba ba.
That sounds more like the sound a motorbike would make, doesn't it?
Exactly, like a two-stroke off-road bike. Yeah.
Well, no. Hey, how about the old Kawasaki 750 triples that rev to stupid amounts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Meow.
Yeah, they had a lot in the top end. There's winding. It's like woo. First time I heard a power band on a 250, I was like, oh, now I understand why everyone loves that bike. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to do that too, Stewie. I just thought of that before you typed that in. Or the playing card and the spokes of your wheels sound.
Oh yeah,
And,
so cool.
Your mum
Incredible.
used to wonder where all the wooden pegs disappeared to for that.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have to use a playing card because we didn't have playing cards laying around, so we just find something equivalent, a bit of cardboard of some sort.
I think I watched that movie. I think I watched that movie Big when I was young, and that's what made me put the. It was either that or no, I think it was Big. He has the card. He has the card in his spokes, and that's what I did. I did the same thing.
BMX Bandits, maybe. I don't know what that one is. Yeah. Okay, what are we up to? Have we got anything, Paul?
Yeah?
We
You're
do.
not going to play any, Lindsay?
Oh, yes.
Just do it.
Yes, we'll
Third
play.
time. Come
Okay,
on.
we'll
I
go.
only stayed
We nearly skipped a step here.
I
Yeah.
only came for the dirt.
I wasn't gonna ask if we had it because I didn't want to spoil the plan of no plan if we did it.
No,
you know.
we never have a. Shh,
No,
Sheepy, don't let on.
I'll put that horrible choppy video back on.
Oh shit, I've lost Lindsay. Where'd he go?
He's lost.
I've lost him. Yeah, I haven't got him. Oh, here he is. I'll grab Lindsay and
Get back here.
We'll see if we can find see if we can find Lindsay.
You know the problem is being in the future, Terry.
What's that?
It's hard to wish people happy Halloween when they're not even on Halloween yet.
I'd
I know
hate
we're on
to.
Halloween now. It's just that you're kind of nearly
Well,
not.
I've got some bad news and
Yeah.
I've got some bad news.
You've
Well,
lost.
give me the bad news first.
Okay, well the bad news is that Lindsay hasn't dropped one lately. He seems to have
Okay.
fallen behind. 3 days ago was the
Oh.
last one. We already watched that one. Uh-oh.
Have we started from the beginning? Should we go back to the beginning?
You want to go back to his earlier ones?
I'm just wondering how far back we've gone. It'll be interesting to compare his current, I guess you could say, revision to what the other Lindsay was saying back then.
The other
We've got
Lindsay.
Flat Earth Ozzie Roscoe uploaded Oh Very Young. Or whatever that is.
Yeah, the other Lindsay, because I think there's multiple Lindsays.
So I still have to get into...
Just before you start that, Terry, that's what a steam train boiler explosion looks like.
Ooh. Where's my screen go? Oh my goodness.
That is bad. But at
Mm.
least it went out the front
What
and not out the
the-
back.
What the hell's all that stuff at the front?
That's the
That's
pipes.
the
That's
boiler.
your cooling pipes.
That's the boiler.
No,
No.
that's the boiler.
No, that's the boiler. That's
Yeah,
where
but
the
I
water
thought the pipes
actually gets
were
turned
the-
to steam.
Yeah, I thought the
God.
pipes carried all the water.
No. Yeah, the pipes carry all the water that you're heating up to turn into
In
steam.
steam. Yeah.
How much piping is in there? Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
a lot.
A lot. Because it's all really small. Because it's much more thermally effective to
Yeah.
heat water.
Yeah, you heat it
Oh my
quicker. The small
God.
pipe that heats up quicker.
Yeah.
It's a greater surface area. Yeah.
I can't believe it. I thought it was like a big chamber in there. Not
No.
like that. That's insane.
But yeah, the chamber carries the fire, like the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at. I thought the outside was complex. Look at the inside.
Yeah. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of small pipes running
Far
running through
out.
running through the firebox.
That is insane.
Mm.
And of course, most of the water heat, and the firebox isn't that big. But the thing is, of course, that it's drawing all the heat from the fire through that essentially horizontally laid chimney with all the high pressure pipe running through it.
I do have
Before-
a
That
Peter.
is
before the
I do have
smoke
incredible.
exits the.
I do have Peter and Pete's videos that you just could watch as well.
Oh, you could be cruel and make us watch Peter and Pete. Go on then.
We've got that because I've looked down into what happens
That
when
is
you give a
absolutely
plant oxygen.
So, looks like the wiring harness in an early Land Rover. No, it's a bit. I think the Land
That's
Rover's
madness.
not quite that crazy.
Oh, that goes for a bit too long, Peter and Pete. That goes for an hour. We'll see if we can find
Oof.
something from
They
Peter
do
and
some
Pete that's a
short
bit
ones.
shorter. Yeah, look, yeah, they've got plenty of short ones in here. I'll sort by oldest because it might be more interesting going back. Okay.
Oh, to the early days of Peter and Pete.
Yeah, the early days. Okay, starts off, do rockets work in space? The sun is not 93 million miles away. Do train drivers really drive trains? Is there such a thing as magic?
What?
Eratosthenes revisited. Do rockets have engines?
Do train drivers
Do
really
we
drive
truly have a
trains?
choice? I'll share it what I'm seeing, that way you can. There you go.
Do train drivers really drive trains?
trains? Yeah, there's that one. We've got Eratosthenes revisited.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Do rockets have engines? Facts true.
No.
Surely
They're helium
use
balloons, aren't
general
they?
heritage. Do our
According to
perceptions truly
Bowbusters.
reflect reality? Does the moon really cause a solar eclipse? So you want to go back to a couple of the earlier ones?
Oh, you choose whatever, too.
Oh, majority rules
rockets
here.
run about
Vote.
half an
The Aristophanes one caught my
You just want the Aristophanes one?
attention.
Out in the peanuts? Pete and Peter Aristophanes. I think that might do. There we go.
That Paul playing the piano again.
Yeah,
I was wondering what that was. I was like,
I'd
Yeah.
wish,
Something's
I'd wish
like
I'd
playing
wish
in the background or something.
But I'd wish he'd play something a bit more upbeat instead of this slow, boring, morbid tunes that he always plays.
No, I was about to take out my skull and look at it. To be or not to be. That was very cool.
Okay,
Come on, a Chopin nocturne. That's not boring, Terry.
That's awesome.
like the Back to the Future movie. It's got a beat and you can dance to it. ZZ Top
Johnny
reference
be
there to
good.
that one. Okay, what do we got here? This is only 4x3 format. How many years back was this? 2015. Wow.
Yeah, we're still working it out, Terry.
I don't know about the music or whatever he's using. So this is the early days of Peter and Pete.
Hmm.
So he's rearranged all the words to use the same letters. Where's the P go?
Yeah. Total nonsense liar.
The nonsense in the world. In the last episode we looked at magic, but in this episode, however, we'll be revisiting Eratosthenes, best known for being the first person to calculate the circumference of the Earth. Now, Eratosthenes was born in 276 BC and was a clever Greek guy living in Egypt. He realised that during a summer solstice at local noontime, the sun was directly overhead the town of Sphenet, now known as Aswan. Eratosthenes knew this because at this specific time, sunlight completely filled the bottom of a deep well. Meanwhile, over in Alexandria, some 523 miles away at the same time, he also realised that a nonon cast a shadow, and after measuring the shadow, Eratosthenes found the angle to be 7 degrees or 1/50th of a circle. Simply by multiplying the distance between Aswan and Alexandria by 50 gives us a pretty accurate estimation of the Earth's circumference. So 523 multiplied by 50 equals 26,150 miles. The actual circumference of the Earth at the equator is said to be 24,901 miles. Slightly over, but not bad at all. Well done, that man. But did Eratosthenes actually set out to calculate the circumference of the Earth like we are told? Well, to answer this, let's take a look at the following. Now, we're all familiar with the word
assumption,
and here's Esther with a definition.
A thing that is accepted as true or as certain to happen, without proof.
Now, Eratosthenes' method has been accepted without question, yet hinges upon two assumptions. Firstly, the assumption that the sun's rays of light are parallel when hitting the Earth, and secondly, the Earth is a sphere.
Well, I'd have to pull him up on that bit first, because we never assumed that the Earth was a sphere to start with, did we? It wasn't until they did the measurements that they concluded that it must be a sphere.
No,
Pythagoras.
the Greeks already pretty much knew that the Earth was a sphere from other observations. That's why he went out to show to find the circumference, because
Right.
they knew it was a sphere, and they wanted to know how big a sphere it was.
Right.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Aristotle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the Greeks also had enough understanding of geometry and light to be able to work out that the light rays were parallel as well.
Mm.
Well, as
Because when
one
they're
should
not,
never
things look different.
assume anything because it makes an ass out of you and me, let's have a look at these assumptions in turn. If we look at images of Eratosthenes' method, many depict sun's rays to be parallel, and yet we've all seen with our own eyes the sun's rays of light beaming through clouds do in fact converge to a point. So the first assumption is incorrect. The sun's rays are not clearly parallel when they hit the Earth.
Perspective.
Hmm.
Is that perspective?
As for the second
Yep.
assumption, this can be disregarded, as one would always get relatively consistent results, irrespective of the size and shape of the Earth. So, whether the Earth is spherical, flat, or even concave, the parameters used within the calculation, although varying slightly, would always remain the same. So it's nonsense to base any calculation of the Earth's circumference on assumptions. But Eratosthenes was a smart guy and would have known all of this. So if Eratosthenes was unable to calculate the circumference of the Earth, what could he have set out to calculate? Well, without making any assumptions at all, Eratosthenes knew the sun traversed the sky each day, casting shadows, and many people during that era probably asked themselves the simple question, I wonder how far away is the sun? As Eratosthenes was a mathematician, he realized that the sun, the points at Aswan and Alexandria all formed a right-angled triangle during the summer solstice at noontime. So, with the right angle at Aswan, the angle of the shadow cast being 83 degrees at Alexandria, and the distance between these points, it was very straightforward for Eratosthenes to have calculated the sun's distance away from the Earth. So let's use Eratosthenes' method to calculate the sun's distance away from the Earth. Now it's very simple to do using an online calculator like the one here. We simply imagine the point C of the right angled triangle is where Aswan is, the point B where Alexandria is located, and the point A is where the sun is. So we want to find leg B of the triangle, and in order for us to do this we need to check leg B, where the calculator asks us to select value to find, and we then enter 5.
I think their later videos must get a little bit more derpier than these earlier ones.
As a known value, 523, there we go, in the leg A box. We then enter 83 as being our known value for angle B. Here.
Yeah, Zeb, that's what I've
And all we
noticed.
do
This is
is
just
we
Pete. Where's Peter?
Calculate. So according to this method, the sun is actually 4,259 miles away. Well,
What?
there you have it. It certainly appears nonsense that Eratosthenes set out to calculate the circumference of the...
Did he do some measurements wrong or something?
Well, the problem is that, yeah, he certainly did the measurements wrong because you get a different altitude for every. Go to different latitudes, you get different. You get different altitudes.
I'm trying to work out his measurement, if that's what he used.
Well, he just assumed that the Earth was flat,
Mm.
and that you could then use the known distance between Syene and Alexandria to measure the height of the sun.
Well, that's this measurement with the angle and then the distance
Yeah.
with the miles in the bottom. I can't read. What's that say? 923 miles. And he threw that in.
It was
in there.
right angle.
Uh,
I don't know what they say. I can't read that.
Enter known values. So you enter in there the values you know. So you know leg B, and you know angle.
A.
You know angle alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know the angle alpha, and you know the leg B. which means that you can calculate the length of leg A, which is B to C. And but the problem is that as you change the leg B distance, the angles change such that the length A doesn't stay constant. If you use measured distances over the surface of the Earth.
But the
Yeah,
distance,
Dora, that's right. It does. Pete just assumes a close sun, and that therefore it's a right triangle, because on the date in question, the sun is directly above Syene. So you know the distance from where the sun is directly above. So you can, yeah, that's how they always that's why they have to say the sun is about or between, or it's and then they have this huge range of values for the distance to the sun, because they have to account for the fact that as you move away from the equator, the height of the sun changes.
The sun is actually 4,259 miles away. Well, there you have it. It certainly appears nonsense that Eratosthenes set out to calculate the circumference of the Earth, and it makes more sense for Eratosthenes to have calculated the distance the sun is away from the Earth. So till next time, always remember, if something doesn't make sense, it's nonsense.
I can't even see his calculation for that. He didn't show that very well, that part. Good evening, Mr. Blue. I'll have a look again at Peter and Pete's old ones again. We might find something a bit better than that later on. Or when, because he does those videos for a while where it's just one of them. So when Peter and Pete actually started to join as a combination, oh here we go, back there. 4 years ago. There's that one. That goes for an hour. We're not going to watch an hour's worth, that's for sure. Doesn't he do it? Don't they do any shorter videos? 43 minutes.
I was in the other room. Did you say something, Terry?
Oh, I was just saying hello, Mr. Blue.
No, good morning. So what was wrong with that guy?
Pete's the other half to Peter and Pete.
He does know that trigonometry was way, way in the future from the time from Eratosthenes' time, right? I guess he realizes that there were no online calculators anywhere near S1 or.
But funnily enough, they could still do geometry, Blue. But funnily enough, they could still do geometry. They could still do geometry and calculate stuff based on angles.
I seriously doubt that he based it on angles. Well, in a loose sense, I guess, yeah. When I did in fact, the first video I ever did was on Eratosthenes. You can do it from just absolutely from sheer proportions. You don't need to know anything about trigonometry or angles or anything else. It's really a rather clever way of doing
it. Didn't they have steam powered calculators back then? Yeah. Gee, it's hard to find dirt videos to that nowadays. It's just not out there.
Nothing new from Flatsoid.
Flatsoid. Flatsoid. What did I do with Flatsoid?
Flatsoid FE.
Flatsoid.
What about that Raichi 50?
Yeah, I haven't got a channel with those ones in it. Where is it? It's supposed to be in there. It's supposed to be in Flurf Dirt in the Oz Squad. But I haven't got. I've got 3 of them in there, but I don't know who they are. They should have been put in there, the videos, the Flurf Dirt channels. Now we'll look at that for next week to see if we can find alternatives. Oh, there's Raichi. I'll just check to see if Raichi's got another video out. Because they haven't got many videos. Video. Only a week ago, but we already did that one, didn't we? The week ago one, laser test proof floor is flat. We did that one, so that was a week ago.
Yes, that was so bad.
That one. Who else was there?
Flatsoid FE.
Flatsoid. I don't know where I've got the Flatsoid put away. No,
He would have been from any other vids.
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm looking in
That's
there
where
now.
I put it. It was a while back though when we looked at him proving Coriolis doesn't exist from the balloon tied to the floor in the lounge for some reason. That was awesome, wasn't it?
I know. Yeah.
And he's like, what will happen when the sun passes? It's like,
I know, like,
sweet
what the
F. And when it passed, he's like, well, that shows you definitive proof. It's like, that shows me proof of something.
No, I'm going to have to Google it because it's too far back in,
Yeah.
it's too far
Thankfully,
back.
no one else has thought of the name Flatzoid FE, so he comes right up straight away. First time I heard about him, he was commenting to me.
Oh, here we go, Flatsoid, found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheeples, I watched Whitsett get demolished by the main surveyor, right?
Oh, yeah.
And like, my brain nearly exploded when Whitsett said that gravity is a result of the rotation of the Earth, that without the Earth rotating, we wouldn't have gravity. Like, what the hell? I mean, if you can't even get that part of it right.
Yeah, no, he's
Okay.
a little bit upset with me. He said I was running my mouth while he wasn't in the room. And then he was like, you don't want to talk to me when I'm here. It's like, I'm ready to talk to me. What do you want? And he's like, well, do you want to debate one-on-one on camera? I'm like, no, not particularly. You
know? He's just got a box full of well-rehearsed gibberish lines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he ought to be working for a carnival.
Yeah.
He's really good with the fast. Well, carnival maybe that's inappropriate, and more like pre-owned vehicle sales. How's that?
Yeah. And I thought he had a nerve to accuse the main surveyor of monologuing.
Oh, no.
Well,
He's
we'll
like, I
talk
got the
about-
I got the main server to conceive his main premise.
Sorry.
Like, no, you didn't at all.
No.
You know, I falsified it. He's like, in the main server, he's like, what have you falsified? I'm asking for you to provide measurements. Do you have measurements? You know, very funny.
There you go.
What do we got here? Is
Flat
something new from
Greater Raider. It's I'm going back about a week for this one. Well, the cheese grater is back again to the deception out or something. It's so simple. All observations done at a distance has optical drop and not actual drop.
he
So-
wrote greater correctly, and wrote great as in awesome instead of the great. Oh, you know you're dealing with a real stellar student.
So angular size changes with distance in the crosshairs stay always the same. So after last video, got some
They
interesting comments from viewers, so
always
let's take a look at them.
stay always the same.
Okay.
Always stay the same. Okay.
Let me go back one to see what Sly said.
Is he in a bathroom? So, yep.
Can
he's in a
someone read?
bathroom.
Can
So,
someone do the read? I
then
can't
you
read
lied.
any of that.
So then you lied. Any cropping from left to right still would show your claimed level point is not level. Typical Sly Sparkane doing what he likes to do, cry foul and call me a liar.
And call my a liar.
So,
Yeah, I know.
so I think you need to be there ready with the space bar, Terry, to pause it.
Yeah, I am.
Call my a liar.
I can't read that comment.
Oh, hang on, let me full screen it. It's right. I didn't quite get the second half of his comment about Sly's first comment, but this is Sturson 2. Flatzoid, are you trying to con us deliberately, or did you not bother to check which hole on the back is actually the lens in use, like me when I tried my clip on 20 times zoom for the first time? Rowbotham stated horizon rises to eye level for a reason. Eye level in a phone is the center of the screen when she's vertical or the object is very close.
Look at the picture in the phone versus what's actually seen there. It's two different sides of the grater. But which one's the greater side?
And he's got the phone vertical again.
It's my favorite. What? With more depth.
All to the same ratios.
No idea what he's talking about.
He's not talking at all.
Well, yeah, no.
You'd have to do his first test. Right, now that is shown as level. How could that be shown as level? The liquid in the bottle.
I have no idea what the liquid in the bottle was supposed to do.
It just showed a height of 4 centimetres. Depth.
Hmm.
Now that's the height of the camera.
Yeah, but the lens isn't at 6.5. The lens isn't at. Hang on, can you go back? So that lens is not the center of the lens is not at 6.5 centimeters. The center of the lens is at like
5 3/4. 5 3/4.
about 57 or 58 centimeters, maybe.
Yeah.
It'd really help if he had the. It'd really help if he had the tape measure, the other side of the flipping lens, so that you could actually line it up with the center of the lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's barely holding it straight anyway. Yeah, 57.
No, it's not straight. Look at the lines. They're not even lined up
Yeah,
on the
but-
tape measure.
Yeah, no, they're terrible.
Exactly.
56 possibly even, depending. But yeah, that's not. I mean, this is just. You gotta wonder if he's trolling.
Hmm.
Miro says about 58 mil.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
Oh, look at this equipment. He's now using a roll of sellotape to bump. Oh my goodness.
Oh, something's not right here.
yeah, well,
There's something
We-
wrong there.
we already know that the hole is at least a centimeter. It is at least a centimeter, if not 18 millimeters below. Sorry, that's about 12 millimeters below the level of the center of the camera, because that was 4.5 centimeters, wasn't it? And the camera is nearly 6. So
Wait a
of course it's
minute,
going
where's
to
he-
get
what the-
lower in the field.
He's measured the camera height from the ground.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
his.
There's that. So
There's the lens.
that's
Or that's the grater.
Yeah, there's the
which
grater.
is, and the center of that hole is what?
A
11.
little bit below
50
57. About 57.
56.5 mil.
Yeah, something like that.
Close. Close to 57. And then he does the camera.
I don't understand why he's not putting the line through the center of the bloody lens.
Yeah. So he's only out by a mil, if you want to get technical there. But that doesn't look right, because you should be able to see the other hole on the other side of the grater lined up with this hole.
You should.
But
it's
you're not.
square.
But you're not. It looks like it's below. It's like the camera's too low.
Yeah.
Sorry, the camera's too high.
No, the hole on the other side, you can see the hole through to the other side of the grate is a little bit lower
Yeah.
than this hole.
Yes, which means the camera is higher.
No.
No, the camera's lower.
No, the other way around, Alan.
The camera's lower than that hole.
Yeah, sorry.
Because you're looking above the hole on the other side.
Yeah, sorry. My brain's not too functional today.
And I don't think the phone's actually at right angles as well to where it's what it's sitting in.
That really doesn't change anything.
Okay.
I did a video a long time ago proving that.
Okay.
You can tilt that camera considerably, and as long as you don't change the
Oh look, and as you move
Two off
away,
nice.
you notice the little white, the little until it gets to the point where it's dropped below the level of the doors of the kitchen units. That the white hole seems to climb up the other side, doesn't it, as it moves away? When you first starts moving it back, you can see the white hole in the background just moving in relation to the hole at the front.
Optical drop. Huh?
No, that's just him not lining it up exactly.
I still think the camera's leaning back a little bit, the phone.
That shouldn't matter too much. However, what you've got to remember is that at those close distances, it doesn't need a very great amount of error to have a significant optical effect.
Yeah, you're right, Terry. I mean, doing what he's trying to do, if the camera's leaning, that's going to have a big effect on him. I wasn't paying attention to exactly what he was up to, but yeah, you can't have the camera leaning and try to play that game.
No, because I don't even think you can see it.
If you start where he starts moving backwards, Terry.
So how can you have that camera? Oop. See, the camera, it's just sitting in that roll of tape, but he's not showing that it's at 90 degrees to the floor even. So that's a bit disingenuous there for that.
Bit.
And then
here, right, you see, watch, as he moves it back, you see you'll see the light that's coming through that hole, from the hole at the back, changes in relationship to the white square he's got written there. And then
yeah, it's almost disappearing, but
oh
yeah.
Look, there it is. Bigger and brighter.
Yeah, but he's not moving it dead straight back, like actually parallel to the phone. It's veering off to the side.
Yeah, and
it veers off to the side.
That's it veers. But look, if you back it up a little bit. I think just around about there, you can see that the hole is now pretty much the holes are pretty much level, because you can also see the hole in the left hand side as well, just about.
And I can see another. Also, I can see another misalignment issue he's done. He hasn't got the camera set parallel to the distance away to the cupboards, so he's got the camera a little bit skewed to the right as well. I can see by that as well. So he's got two problems there. He hasn't squared the phone up to the cupboards, to that direction that he's looking, and he hasn't got it at 90 degrees to the floor. So these guys just cannot do experiments. They got no idea.
And those floor I'm sorry, but those floor tiles are not going to be.
I wouldn't be going. Yeah,
I've just realised what he's measuring the height of the oil in the bottle was all about, to show that tiles were flat. Yeah, that shows the tiles have been laid level, or at least level with a spirit level. Doesn't mean to say they've all been laid at the same flipping height, though, does it?
That's true. You can't say that floor's dead flat. But anyway, I don't think he's using those bottles for anything really to go by. He's just drawn arbitrary lines from them.
He's trying to use the bottles as little miniature spirit levels.
Mm.
But of course, he was only ever measuring the height up to the thing on the bottle. Say, look, it's not tilted because it's still the same height from the floor. So that would imply that the centre of the tile is laid, you know, fairly close to parallel to the equipotential plane, but there's nothing to say that each tile is not a millimetre or two different in height. And I've yet to see a tiled floor where the tiles don't move, don't go up and down a little bit.
He's got the crosshairs stay in the same position. That's a bit disingenuous in that way. The object's angular size changes. Yes, an object's angular size does change and then gives optical drop. No, not if your crosshairs are not lined up.
Also, you also remember that he's. Oh, I've just realised something else that sneaky bugger's probably done. You notice that we have a square image, and I'm pretty sure the crosshairs are based on the square image, aren't they? He's done the crosshairs from the corner to corner on the image. Well, that's not that's. How do we know that's centre of field? Because he's cropped the.
Well, that's what I didn't even go by. I wasn't even going by the crosshair cross. I was going by the actual orientation of the camera in relation to what's actually in the room at the time for what he's lined it up to.
He's taken the video vertically. He's cropped it to square. He's then put that into the horizontal 16:9 frame, and he hasn't even lined it up correctly because that's not even in the center of the frame. There's more white on the right than there is on the left. Then he's drawn lines from the four corners of the 16:9 frame and gone, look, there's my center of frame.
Well, yeah, that's a bit of it.
It's complete, because he should be showing us the whole video frame and doing the crosses from that. But of course, he won't do that because he's a kin idiot and can't even mount the camera the right way round.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't have needed the crosshairs if he had the camera parallel to that to line up through that hole. And if he'd have lined that up, and as he did it, that hole, we would have seen the light coming through the other hole all the way down to when he slid it back.
Yeah, so it's not hard to ensure that a camera is horizontal, is correctly aligned.
Yeah.
No. You don't need Blue's carpentry skills to make yourself up a frame that'll hold the camera.
You mean my carpentry skills?
No, I'm talking about my carpentry skills.
Oh, your carpentry skills.
I don't have any.
Oh, okay. Do you know how to check to see if your square's square, Alan?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
There you go.
I said, I have 0 carpentry skills.
You should know how to check to see if your square is square.
Yeah, if you're not sure, if you've got a square that you're not sure of, and you want to just double check to see how square it is, you mark it onto a piece of wood or a bit of ply or whatever that you can draw a straight line on the outer edge. Turn the square around and draw another line. And if that line lines up with the same pencil mark that you just drew, that's the square's good enough to be square. That's just a cheat's way of doing it, if you're not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to get it, if you want to really get picky about it, instead of drawing a line, take a knife, make a knife line. which is, dead on. Very fine mark. It's hard you can fool yourself sometimes with a pencil, but you can feel that knife line.
Yeah. Okay, I think that'd be enough for
Oh,
now.
Professor Phil's here.
No, you missed out on the little bit of dirt. We'd done a bit of peat, but not Peter, and we did flatsoid with the great aerator.
I thought it was Peter and not Pete.
Yeah, it was Pete, not Peter.
No, Peter, not Pete.
Yeah, no, it was Pete, not Peter.
I thought the thing said Peter. Am I really going that mad? Is my brain completely frazzled?
Because he had Pete with an arrow going to a cartoon drawing of himself. I can double check for you if you want.
No, that's fine.
Okay
But
then.
no, we don't need that again.
Well, we're running on schedule by the look of it. We're 10 minutes over 2 hours already, and we're still got to fit in Paul's proverbs.
Yeah.
And I put your tiles around that way for you. That way you can share the thing.
Okay.
I didn't realise that I could do that before, because every time everyone was sharing something, I'm going, it's getting cut off at the bottom. No, there you go. That's better.
You've figured that one out now, have you, Terry?
Yeah, there you go.
Good. Yeah. No, it's getting harder to find derpy things, Terry, or interesting things. So I'll need some ideas soon.
Oh, okay then.
Much
The peanuts.
Much harder to find things.
Well, between the peanuts and us, I think we'll be able to work something out.
Yeah. So if you've got anything that you want me to focus on or do, just drop me a note in Discord or something. That'd be good. So today I've just got some interesting proverbs for you, or interesting sayings for you. Some of them are a bit boring, but some are good. All right. Yeah. So they come along with a bit of an animation or a picture too. So number one, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room. Yeah. So you wouldn't get me doing this. No way.
Oh. I think that's one of them Cyanote things in North Central America somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah. Nope. It'd be hard push to get me to do it out of an aeroplane towards the ground, but let alone down a big hole that you then have to climb out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow. Number two. If you can smile when things go wrong, you already have someone to blame. Yeah. Yeah. Never use a hatchet to remove a fly from your friend's forehead. That's pretty good advice.
Yeah, but at least you'd be able to get the fly.
Yeah. I thought this was hilarious, this. She throws the axe, completely misses, and it bounces back and nearly hits her in the head. Whoever said money can't buy happiness didn't know where to shop. Yep,
Yeah, you've got to go to the
right.
happiness. You've got to go to the happiness shop.
Or at least you could be miserable in comfort.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Miserable in style. Yeah. Let not the sands of time get in your lunch. Red meat is not bad for you. Fuzzy green meat is bad for you.
True.
True. Very true. Doesn't that look nice? Oh dear. Always remember, you're unique, just like everyone else. You know that saying that you're like one in a million?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in China, there's 1,000 people just like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say there's 8,000. Yeah, it makes 8,000 people in the world like you, just like you, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Keep the dream alive. Hit the snooze button. Of course, we all know what movie that's from. Groundhog Day. Being a couch potato is not the same as being a failure. Being a failure implies that you're actually trying to do something. Yeah, I want one of those chairs.
Yeah, where do you get the food from, though? You've got to drink. Where does the food come from?
You got to have someone to stock it for you every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, if you don't sin, Jesus died for nothing. Never, under any circumstances, take a sleeping pill and a laxative on the same night.
That'd be a terrible combination.
I remember I was in hospital once about 30 years ago, and this poor dude, he could hardly walk, and they'd given him a laxative shot, like in the arm, to make him go, and then completely forgotten all about him. And he just couldn't wait any longer, and he decided to get out of his bed and try to make it to the toilet. Well, there was shit all up the corridor and on the walls and on the floor and everywhere. And then the nurses came back in the morning and saw it all, and oh my God.
And she said, well, I'm not cleaning up that mess.
Mm. If you don't go to the other man's funerals, they won't go to yours.
Which well, in that order, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I'd rather go to theirs than mine.
Yeah, that's right. Anything is possible if you don't know what you're talking about. And I guess that's basically sums it up for flat earthers, really.
Yeah, I
doesn't
was
it?
just thinking of a flat Earth reference.
Yeah.
That somehow, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not whether you win or lose, but how you place the blame.
Not how you play the game, how you place the blame.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Play on words.
Yeah, yeah. Health nuts are going to feel stupid someday, lying in the hospital, dying of nothing.
Mm.
At some stage, everyone's going to die, whether they're healthy or not.
Mm.
You have to become unhealthy at some point in your life. A man with both feet firmly on the ground is a man who can't get his pants off. It's very wise, isn't it?
That's so obvious, though. It's wise but obvious.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now you got to learn how to undress like this, Terry.
Wow, ninja style.
Yeah. No one is listening until you fart.
That's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Bubbles in the Bathtub by Windy Bottom?
Yeah. Never hold your farts in. They travel up your spine into your brain, and that's where your crappy ideas come from.
Oh, I'd have to keep that for when a flirt's talking, Paul, and
Yeah.
say, look, you've been
Yeah.
holding your farts in for too long.
Yeah.
That's where the brain farts come from, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where
Yeah.
their
So
crappy
you gotta let
ideas
them
come
out.
from, because they hold their farts in
You
for too
gotta,
long.
yeah, you got to let them out.
Yeah.
I have lots of brain farts, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're not a flirter, so we can't use that analogy on you.
Yeah. The probability of being watched is directly proportional to the stupidity of the act.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, that's
yes,
right.
exactly.
If you do something really stupid, everyone's going to see it.
Yeah.
Like this.
Like this. Doing. And the one where the bloke jumps off the off a garage roof onto one of them and goes flying, or something similar.
Yeah, that looks like it's got to hurt. Two wrongs are only the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The sooner you fall behind, the more time you have to catch up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alcohol, because no great story started with someone eating a salad.
Yeah, exactly. That's where all the great stories come from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I'm going to guess it's going to have pirates too, isn't it? Because all great stories have pirates.
Yeah. Don't worry, if plan A fails, there are 25 more letters in the alphabet.
In the alphabet. Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
Like my shows, if I don't start at 7, just wait longer.
Yeah.
Good old Beetlejuice.
Yeah. If you're not supposed to eat at night, why is there a light bulb in the refrigerator?
Exactly. Yeah, who put the light? Why do you need a light bulb in the fridge for?
Yeah. Doesn't expecting the unexpected make the unexpected expected?
Wait a minute. Hang on.
I don't know.
Not getting me head around that one. Doesn't the
if
you're expecting the unexpected, then it's expected. It's not unexpected.
Yeah. Okay. I'll expect the unexpected then.
Yeah.
Our greatest weapon.
The only reason I'm fat is because a tiny body couldn't store all this personality.
Oh.
A successful man is one who makes more money than his wife can spend. A successful woman is one who can find such a man. I asked God for a bike, but I know God doesn't work that way. So I stole a bike and asked for forgiveness.
Okay.
Well, that is the Christian way, really, isn't it?
Yeah. When you do something wrong, you just ask for forgiveness.
Yep. When you're right, no one remembers. When you're wrong, no one forgets. It's pretty true, that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, we always seem to remember when the first wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Actually, Terry, don't we remember when a flirt is right?
Oh, yeah, there is that other side of the coin you don't think about sometimes.
Because because generally a flirt is just wrong by definition.
Yeah. Sometimes I wake up grumpy. Other times I let her sleep.
Let us sleep. I'll pay that one.
God created the world. Everything else is made in China. Yeah. When life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I've heard that one before. I have heard that one
Yeah.
before.
I just realised
Oh, she's crushing them
Yeah.
with her inner thighs.
there's
Yeah.
so much lag on Zoom that I'm seeing like it's like stop motion.
It is
Yeah.
It is stop motion. It's not. It's not.
We want to get her
like,
angry. And there you go. That's all I've got for that segment.
Oh, that's okay, Paul. You've done
Right.
well. You've done well.
No worries. So, are you ready for a quiz?
Oh shit! I didn't exercise my brain since last time.
Mm,
I was too busy reading the peanut galleries. They're talking
quiz.
about squares and stuff.
Remember, I've got to type in this one now, not in.
I don't know where the
Not in that
conversation
one.
came from for that one. Was it John Rapp?
I have to
Oh, yeah.
figure out
Oh,
where
yeah, I noticed they use a lot of those speed square tools on carpentry over in America. Those speed
Yeah,
squares.
we do.
Yeah. I haven't seen one over here. Next time I'm at the carpenters. Next time I'm at Bunnings or somewhere like that, I'll have a look and I'll see if they do. Well, they must sell them. They'd have to.
Yeah, those speed squares are a handy thing to have. They're great when you're out doing, like framing work or something like that. They're damn near indestructible.
I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment because I want to get the internal chat up. It sort of disappeared for a moment there.
Yeah, I've got down that my shed's a combination set square, whatever they call it. Not a set square, it's a combination square. I don't think I've got a set square. Oh yeah, I've got one normal square. Somewhere down around. A small one, not a real big one though. Oh, Big Blue's talking. They wanted to hear you talk more, Blue. Sorry.
John Rapp said, yes, me too. And I reckon you lost most on the knife one. What?
What?
I didn't understand that, John.
Yeah.
Okay. Already. I've got the
I don't know, Blue's got to type with one finger.
Up.
Blue's got to type with one finger because he's faster than me.
All right, here we go. Question 1. If the time between a lightning flash and the resulting thunder is 5 seconds, approximately how far away was the lightning?
Metric or imperial?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
No. I'll be able to judge whether either answer is correct or not.
Oh, I did forget to stick the units on the end of that number. Sorry.
Oh, because I learnt it like it was like that. Well, okay. Blue went that way. I went the other way. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, and be careful. The question is actually how far away was the lightning?
Oh. Well, it'd be that. That's the number.
5 seconds. Hello, Brainery's answer. 5 seconds away.
Yeah, exactly, Brainery. Good one.
Well, if you're running, it's more than 5 seconds away.
Oh, he's talking about the knife line to the pencil line thing for your set square.
Yeah, we've got a correct answer in the internal chat.
You've essentially got two correct answers in the internal chat.
Really?
Yes, I do, roughly. Yeah. Yours is approximately correct, Alan.
Where? In the internal chat? Where's Alan? I've only got Blue and me.
Would be closer,
Oh,
wouldn't it?
that's because Alan sent his to me privately.
Oh, did he? Oh, did he now? We're sending private answers now, are we?
You need to change that, Alan.
Yeah, Paul, you know how that happened, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
David answered privately earlier. Forgot to check that. Forgot to reset it. Sorry.
Okay, so if the speed of sound is approximately 340 meters per second, it's going to go a bit over 1,600 meters in 5 seconds. So the answer is about 1 mile, or about 1,600 meters.
So I'm close. No, I'm not even close, am I? I've got 5 kilometres.
No, that's way too far away.
No.
Okay, question 2. Which of the following building materials has the highest thermal conductivity? Is it southern pine wood, common brick, aluminium, or gypsum board, or drywall?
This one, me and Blue should get
this is an easy
right.
one.
Yeah, me and Blue should get this one right. Which is B. Sorry. Oh, went for a different answer. Highest thermal.
Thermal conductivity.
Thermal conductivity.
You'll have to explain this one later when you
all right.
When you finish.
I will, Terry. Yeah, the peanuts are getting it right.
Yeah.
It is aluminium. Aluminium's a metal, and metals have good thermal conductivity, Terry. Right? You're thinking of heat storage capacity, and that's a different thing.
Oh,
okay. Its ability to conduct heat, Terry.
Oh, okay. I was completely wrong in that answer.
Yep. I mean, that's why when you touch a piece of metal in the morning, it feels cold. Mm-hmm. Why do you think it feels cold?
Why does it feel cold?
Yeah, you'd imagine that overnight everything in your bathroom is going to be at approximately the same temperature. So why does when you touch the metal feel cold rather than you touch a piece of wood or something which is at the same temperature, but it doesn't feel cold? Why is that?
It's taking the heat away from your fingers or your hand, your skin.
That's right.
Much better than a material like wood.
Yeah, it's because the metal has a higher thermal conductivity, and so it takes the heat from your hand much quicker.
What about glass? Would glass be the same?
Glass is not that good, but better than wood.
Yeah. Yeah. So the answer is aluminium. Yeah. Okay. Question 3. Thermal insulation is used to do what? Stop the flow of heat, reduce the flow of heat, absorb heat, or reverse the heat flow direction?
Hit the wrong button first.
Well, Blue, I'm sure everybody would like it to be the one you just said first.
Yeah.
But
that would be pretty good.
That would be ideal. But
okay. I didn't look at you guys in the internal because I got insulation put in under sarking under some colour bond over the in-laws. I think that's what I remember.
And of course, a lot of the time over in your country, you're actually more interested in heat flow in the opposite direction to the direction we are here in the UK.
Mm.
Yeah. You want to keep the heat in. We want to keep the heat out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a diagram to help people, but most people are getting this one correct. It is to reduce the flow of heat. Okay. No material will stop the flow of heat, but to reduce it is good.
Yeah, you can't even use a vacuum because you still get some radiated heat energy, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. The region of the United States with the lowest pH values found in rainwater, and that means acid rain, is what? Is it the Midwest, the Northwest, the Northeast, or the Southeast?
I wouldn't have a clue
of the
for
US.
this one.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have a clue. I'm going to go that one.
You could always wait for the diagram, Terry, and then make your decision.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was trying to think through it logically.
There's your diagram.
Hydrogen ion concentration as pH for measurements. I can't read it. It's just pH.
Okay, if you have a look at that diagram, it's a bit hard to read the actual numbers, but the numbers in the brown section are the lower pH values, and the numbers in the green section are the higher pH values. That's what the scale on the side, the legend on the side says. So the correct answer for this is, in fact, the Northeast.
So the top of the scale's green and the bottom of the scale's brown.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep, the Northeast.
Northeast, okay. Who got that right?
Oh, that's where the highest concentration of people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I got
Highest
it back to front.
concentration of power plants.
Power stations. Yeah. Yep.
Why did it get into my head that it was the lowest the lowest levels of acid, not the highest levels of acid?
You were thinking of low pH, not.
I was thinking of low acid, not low pH.
Yeah. Okay. The specific gravity of mercury at standard temperature and pressure is about what? Now we can translate that into Flurf speak. The relative density of mercury at standard temperature and pressure is.
I'm only guessing. I'll wait for the diagram. See if that would have helped me.
There's the diagram. The diagram will tell you that you're wrong. You should know now. Okay, if you have a look at those there are the densities in grams per mil, and because the density of water is approximately 1, that means that the actual densities of all the other materials are their specific gravity. Okay, So the specific gravity at standard temperature and pressure of mercury is around about 13.6 grams per cubic centimetre. 13.6 times more dense than water.
Well, I didn't know that.
Hmm.
You got that right. Everybody except me.
Okay. Here's a maths one for you. Consider the efficiencies of hydro turbines and generators. The efficiency of a hydro turbine is around 80%, and the efficiency of a generator is about 90%. What is the overall efficiency of the unit? So what that means is that the energy of the falling water, about 80% of that is converted into motion of the turbine, and of that, about 90% of that is turned into electricity. What's the overall efficiency? Okay, to calculate this, I hope people realised that you had to figure out what 90% of the 80% was. So 90% of 80% is just 0.9 times 0.8, which is 0.72 or 72% efficiency for the overall system.
Everyone got it right.
How'd you
Blue,
go,
Blue
Terry?
and Alan, no, I couldn't even think what to guess that.
Okay.
I just remember with efficiencies, you just multiply.
Brainery got it right with the correct calculation there. Good.
Well, you get extra points with the calculation.
Yeah. Showing you're working out always gets your extra marks. All right. Here's a history one for you. Name this much publicised group of compounds, of which there are 209 congeners. It was first discovered as an environmental pollutant in 1966, and its widespread use in electrical transformers has spread these compounds into the food chain to such an extent that most adults have small concentrations in their fatty tissue. Does anybody know? I will accept the acronym, the abbreviation, or the actual full-length chemical name.
Not quite sure on the spelling, but there you go. Oh, me and Blue, it's just about the same thing at the same time.
Wow, you're right on top of that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Paul, I once had to remove a capacitor full of that stuff.
Yeah.
From a rack after it started leaking.
Mm.
And although this was only in the 80s, the PPE required was unpleasant. The forced air breathing apparatus was basically a rubber face mask held on with an elastic band, connected to a 75-meter long small diameter air hose, connected to a compressor that just blew air through the pipe. And I'm pretty sure it was the same compressor they used for all the other jobs in the workshop.
I'm definitely not going to try to pronounce colon sensor.
Dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane.
Oh, okay. Oh, was that easy?
That's easy.
That's easy.
Yeah. For those that know your chemistry, you'll be able to recognise what this is. For a start, you can see that it's got lots of chlorine atoms on there. And the word we usually use for lots of is poly. So it's a polychlorinated something. And those rings in the middle there phenyl rings, and there's 2 of them. So that would be biphenyl. So these are polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, everywhere. Well done to Blue and Alan.
And Peter even got it out.
And Peter, yeah.
Peter, what are you doing out there?
Yep.
You're supposed to be in here.
Damned horrid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we built a few thousand of the transformer rectifiers I designed that were filled with those with PCBs, and I hated dealing with that stuff. It will dissolve. It is hard to find material that's compatible with PCB.
Yeah,
that crap will dissolve anything. Eat the eat the soles off your shoes real quick.
Why do they use the PCBs in transformers?
It was a high fire point fluid, actually.
Okay.
A non-flammable fluid.
And non-conducting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's it didn't have the fire potential that mineral oil has.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was used for that reason. Although you will find out in a rather unhandy way, just as I did, that if you have an actual fault in that fluid, an arc in the fluid, the combustion byproducts are very explosive.
Okay.
So you traded one problem for another problem. Eventually, they came up with other materials. There was a selective cut of mineral oil material that they called R-temp that actually fit the description too. And the more common thing that was used and used today is silicone fluid. But,
there you go. Okay, question 8. Recent discoveries of ancient cratering near the Yucatan Peninsula support the theory that a meteor of cometary impact may have resulted in mass extinctions of species on Earth about 65 million years ago. During which geologic period is that impact thought to have occurred? So what's the name of the geologic period?
Oh, just read. I can't change it now. John wanted to know, is it a heat sink, that chemical? Is that what he's talking about?
yeah. It's an insulator and a heat transfer mechanism.
Yeah, it was really good at doing all the things you needed to do in transformers and high voltage capacitors.
For this question, for question 8, if you're thinking about those well-known movies, you're wrong.
Ah, that's what I thought too. That's why I thought I should change my answer, but I can't now.
Fred Bailey, the K2 boundary layer.
Actually, Fred's not that far out. It's the KT boundary layer. With the stuff full of iridium.
Yeah. There's your diagram. This gives it away.
Where's 65?
It is, in fact, the Cretaceous.
Where crustaceans were. Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit
Okay,
too...
question 9. In the United States, the average number of gallons per person of fresh water used per day for personal non-industrial use, such as bathing, laundering, drinking, and the like, is approximately what?
Why do these have to be in gallons for?
So we talk,
Jeez.
just multiply it by about 4.5, Terry.
Per person, fresh water used per day.
Yeah.
Depends. You bath every day? 10 gallons. Yeah, I'd go with that answer. That one. No, did I put the cursor in the right spot? That one. Because that'd be too little and that'd be too much.
There you go. The graph should give you an idea. Yeah, that would be interesting, Irish stew. Taking a bath in ketchup.
Bloody hell, Bart. That is a lot of water.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. The answer is D, 90 gallons.
90 gallons?
Yep, 90 gallons per day. Yes.
Wow.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Mm.
And that
Yeah.
and that has been on a downward trend.
Yeah. Yeah. It's way, I searched hard and wide, long and wide for graphs that were suitable for this question. And some of the graphs showed comparisons between countries of water usage. And the US is right out there. It's way above a lot of other countries.
What about compared to
They
Australia,
must be
though?
clean freaks. Yeah.
Do they have a lot of big problem with water disappearing out of pipes and stuff? Or are they just that much of a clean freak?
I don't know. Maybe. I had to have a long shower today anyway, Alan. I've been excavating out the hearth of my old open fireplace, not inside the fireplace, out in front of it, because I want to board it over and put a new hearth in. And I've been using a diamond sword cut-off wheel to saw into bricks and stuff, and that creates a lot of dust.
Indeed.
And when I was in the shower, I swear, as soon as the water hit my hair, it almost set like concrete. Yeah. Okay, question 10. Hard water is related to the presence of high concentrations of primarily 4 metal ions in water supplies. Calcium and magnesium ions are the most common of the 4. Name one of the other 2 ions, any one of the other 2 ions. What are the other 2 common ions that are present in hard water? Fluoride. Fluoride's not a metal ion. We've got one of the answers in the internal chat. Yeah, that's also a common one, Alan, but not as common as the other one that I'm thinking of.
Well, you said one of two, so you're not. It's not one of the two you're thinking of.
It's not one of the two that I'm thinking of, but it is reasonably common. But there's some stuff for you to read. This should give you the answer.
Well, there you go.
It's there.
Yeah, I mean, it lists three, and
Yeah, I know.
mine was the middle one.
Yeah, but they're not necessarily in order of what do you call it? Quantity.
Yeah, and of course, I guess it's also going to depend on the mineral. What minerals are in the rocks it's been permeating through for a couple of thousand years.
That's right. That's exactly right. Calcium obviously being the most common. Yeah. So the two that I was thinking of were iron and manganese. You know, with the iron, you always get that brown stain in the bottom of old toilets. You know.
Yeah.
And it's not from shitting in them a lot. Okay.
Of course, also the use of iron pipes was common at one time as well. So over here we still get quite a lot of that.
A lot of the mains around the town that I live in here are iron, and if you don't disturb them, they're all right. But if for any reason I've got to turn off my town water and do some plumbing in my house, when I turn the water back on, it obviously unsettles some stuff due to the water knock back in the line. and I literally get dark black coffee coming out of my pipes for a good minute or two.
God, that's horrid.
Yeah. Okay. This is another maths one. Bit harder, this one. When the fuel economy of a 20 miles per gallon car is averaged with that of a 40 miles per gallon car, and both cars are driven the same number of miles per year, what will be the resulting average in miles per gallon? So if we combine the two cars and they're both driven the same distance over the year, what would their average miles per gallon be combined?
That was the obvious answer, Alan, that I thought.
Yeah. If you're going for the obvious answer, you're probably wrong.
Blue and Alan, lucky I didn't copy you. There must be some sort of mathematical thing for this.
Have a think about it. What if the two cars went 100 miles each? Okay, how many gallons would the first car use? How many gallons would the second car use? How many gallons would they both use to do how many miles in total? So if each car went 100 miles, that would be a total of 200 miles. The first car would use 5 gallons. The second car would use 2.5 gallons. That's a total of 7.5 gallons. So miles per gallon, well, if you divide 200 by 7.5, you get an answer of around about 26.7 miles per gallon. Not the 30 miles per gallon that you get just by averaging the two individual ones. It's like a weighted average. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Question 12. Some physicians suggest that women supplement their diets with antacids to supply additional amounts of a certain element thought to reduce the risk of osteoporosis. The ingredient in antacids which provides this element is what? So these are all ingredients that you would find in certain antacids. Is it calcium carbonate? Is it aluminium hydroxide? Is it magnesium hydroxide? Or is it simethicone?
Nobody having a go at it in here?
I've just had a go.
Yeah, Alan had a go.
Well, if you're going to be like that, I'm going to go that one. And if it ends up being the ones we didn't pick...
Well, I can tell you that 3 of those things literally do work as antacids in that they neutralize the acid by reacting with it, so they reduce the acidity of your stomach. The 4th one, and that's D, Terry, simethicone, actually works by building a raft of bubbles, sort of like on top of your stomach fluid, so that you don't get the reflux up your esophagus, which causes the heartburn. Okay, so it's not D.
Okay.
That is the molecular structure of the compound, and that should give you the answer. Because the only one with calcium in it, which is what our bones use, a lack of calcium is what causes osteoporosis, leaching of the calcium from the bones. So the answer is A, calcium carbonate.
When you say
Any
like
way
that,
you can increase your calcium intake, it makes sense. Yeah,
it makes sense for the
probably
answer,
taking antacids is not really all that advisable, because antacids can deplete other minerals from your system.
Well, my doctor never suggested to do that. So.
No. Question 13. If you started with 100 grams of each of the materials below and they all vaporized inside of an inflatable balloon, which of them would produce the largest volume balloon? Assume they were all at the same temperature. So what you're doing here is you're taking water, some gasoline, ethanol, and butane, and evaporating them into separate balloons, all sealed so that they completely vaporize inside that balloon, and they're all at the same temperature inside that their individual balloons. So it's not the temperature that's making the balloon bigger or smaller. Okay, which one would produce the biggest balloon? It's a little bit tricky, this question. Here's some animations or pictures.
They're going to really
you.
help me.
What they are, I'll explain why this may help you, Terry, all right? Because what they are those 4 things in order from top to bottom. So the top one's a water molecule. The second one's a gasoline, an octane molecule. The third one, C, is an ethanol molecule. And the one down the bottom is a butane molecule. Okay? So you think about it, 100 grams of each of these things. Which one of those would have the most molecules in it? Okay, so to explain it a bit more before I give the answer, 100 grams of water will contain far more molecules than 100 grams of any of the others, because there's a lot more atoms per molecule in the other compounds. And so 100 grams of water will contain a lot more molecules than any of the others. And so when you vaporize them, they'll take up more space as a gas. So the answer is A, water.
Even
I
though
was going to
ethanol is
guess
less
water
dense
in the
than
first
water.
place before you gave the
Mm,
the molecule thing. Oh well.
yeah, there you go. Okay, question 14. In 1976, Congress enacted the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, designed to protect public health and the environment from improper management of hazardous waste. The Resource Conservation and Recovery Act categorizes hazardous waste into 4 groups. Identify 3 of the 4 groups. So waste products are categorized into 4 groups. Can you name any 3 of those groups?
Give us a clue. Are they the same as the UN type ones?
Yeah, it could be related to them. 4 very broad categories. Now, obviously, some of the categories can be divided up into different classes of materials within those categories, but there's 4 generally fairly broad categories that you can divide the waste up into.
Right, spell checker tells you this.
Pineapple pizza. Pineapple pizza is a waste product all on its own. No one's going to eat that. Bullshit, horseshit, garbage, and McDonald's. No, smelly, gooey, and pokey. I think people need a diagram, hey? Okay, this should give it away.
Oh, that's 5 groups.
No, that's only 4 groups.
No, because it starts at 0.
No, that's the subcategories within each group, Alan.
What, for the health hazards?
Yeah, that's one of the groups.
Ah,
Okay. So the red, the blue, the yellow, and the white are the groups. What's in those groups are some categories of that group. Okay, red, yellow, and blue.
okay. I misunderstood the question. I was just I was just considering the
yeah,
the blue section.
yeah. Okay, the blue section basically contains things that are either toxic or poisonous. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's one of the groups, toxins or poisons. The second one, the red one, contains things that are combustible or ignitable, fire hazards. Okay, the next one are the reactive products.
Yeah.
Things that will react upon contact with, other things or in combination with other chemicals. And the fourth one is the corrosives group, corrosive substances. Okay, so they're the general, the 4 categories. So you've got toxic, reactive, ignitable, and corrosive, and they should be separated.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they're pretty much the same as the UN ones.
Yeah, they might be given different names, but they're all generally the same sort of category like that. Yeah. Okay. The estrogen and androgen hormones, which regulate sexual development and function, are structurally related to what? Beta carotene, ethanol, adrenaline, or cholesterol. And I see one of the molecules has snuck its way in there that I must have forgot to click. So I'll give you the rest of the molecules. All right. They're in the same order. The estrogen at the top and the other molecules. The next one down is the beta carotene. The next one down is the ethanol. The one on the right-hand side there is the adrenaline. And the one at the bottom is the cholesterol. So it's asking you which of those four is similar structurally to the one at the top. Viagra. Good, well-considered answer, Alan. I'll have to ask you how you came to make that choice.
Oh, okay.
Well, the number of benzene rings
Okay, good.
and the HO hanging off the bottom.
Yeah, well spotted. So for those of you that are wondering, the benzene rings are the circular structures or the hexagonal structures in the molecule. And you'll notice that there are 4 hexagons and 1 pentagon in there. And that's exactly the same with what we find almost down in the cholesterol at the bottom. So the answer is cholesterol. Which is one of the reasons why overweight people and people with high cholesterol, especially women, sometimes have problems getting pregnant because their hormone balance is mucked up.
Although I have to say the beta carotene does look like it's a whole load of unwrapped benzene rings.
Okay. Here's a tricky one. The most abundant organic molecule on the surface of the Earth is what? Is it cellulose, chitin, DNA, or hemoglobin? We have a correct answer out in the peanuts. And we have a correct answer in the internal as well. Kristen Frost's answering laser beams to everything. I have to make a quiz that's got an answer to one of the questions as bugger. And laser beams. Think about the how prolific plants are compared to animals? Which is more prolific, animal life or plant life on the surface of the Earth?
Yeah.
That's why I answered the one I did.
Okay, that's the actual molecule itself.
But I was going to say, but don't all those? Oh, I suppose there's more mass of that than there is of that, even though
That's right, Alan.
even though that other molecule is in every living thing.
Yes, that's right, Alan. Even though that molecule is in every living thing, there's a lot more of the other thing in the plants, and that gives the answer away. The answer is in fact cellulose. Because cellulose
Hey, I
is
got
one
one
of the,
right for a
is
change.
yeah, cellulose is one of the structural components of most plant life.
And
And
that
there's
was
a
an
lot more
educated
plant
guess,
life.
Paul.
Yeah.
I didn't just
Good.
random guessed it.
Educated or well considered?
Well considered. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, question 17. The heat exhaust of an automobile with an internal combustion engine represents approximately what percent of the energy of the original fuel? So we're talking about the heat that comes out of the exhaust of the car. What percentage of the original energy content of the fuel is that? Is it 10%, 50%, 35%, or 5%?
But I've misread that.
All right, I'll try that one. I'm probably wrong, but
Here's a diagram to help you.
okay. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so if you looked at the diagram, the correct answer is C, about 35%. That's a lot of the energy of the fuel that goes just straight out the exhaust.
Yeah.
And as you can see, only about 33% of the actual energy of the fuel is used in making the car go forward. It's pretty low, really. Okay. Question 18, last three questions. In a precise diet and nutrition study, you need to determine the average weight and average height of a group, each to a precision of 1%. The minimum sample size required is what? Now, those that have done any kind of scientific research might know the answer to this question. So obviously, the more samples you take, the more people you survey, the more accurate your final figure is going to be. There's a rule that you can use to determine how many people you're going to sample.
Because it's normally distributed.
I'll give you a hint with a picture.
That's just a question mark with not a question mark.
No, it's not. It's a square root symbol.
Oh, square
right?
root.
If you take the square root of the sample size, that gives you a kind of like number that when you divide by the sample size gives you your percentage, gives you your accuracy. Okay. So if I take the square root of 10, it's around about 3.3, right? And so if I then do 3.3 divided by 10, that's about 33%. So you're way above the accuracy limit that you're striving for. If you take 100, you take the square root of 100, and that's 10. And then 10 divided by 100 is about 10%. So you're getting better accuracy, but it's still not enough. Okay. Whereas if you take the bottom answer, D, 10,000, and you take the square root of that, you get 100. And when you do 100 divided by 10,000, you get a percentage of 1%. So the answer is, in fact, D, 10,000.
Yeah, I knew it was more than 100.
Yeah, the more you do, the greater your accuracy is going to be. Okay, second last question. Liquid fuels can be used to generate electricity in a variety of ways. Which of the following technologies converts liquid fuel directly to electricity without a combustion step? Okay, so like in those little generators that you use for camping, you pour the fuel into the fuel tank, it runs the engine by burning the fuel and then converting that into motion, which then runs the generator, which makes electricity. So you have to burn the fuel. But there is a way that you can generate the electricity without burning fuel.
Well, assuming you're using the right liquid.
Beg your pardon?
Assuming you're using the right liquid.
Yes, that's right. And these are great for things that have to be, they're very efficient. And not only that, but they are fairly reliable as they have no moving parts much. And fairly maintenance free. It's also good if you're not relying on combustion of something in a remote location where you've got the device where you can't tend to it, like for instance in space.
And I suppose space is also a good place to keep that liquid that you need to use as well.
Yeah, they tend to actually use gases in space, not the liquids. And that was one of the problems on Apollo 13.
Yeah.
That one of the fuel sources, when they stirred it, kind of exploded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big bada
That's
boom.
an actual diagram of how these things work. So the fuel they're using in this diagram is methanol. And anyone who's done secondary school chemistry at a high level would know that this is called a fuel cell.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they're very efficient, and they only produce In the case of a hydrogen and oxygen fuel cell, they produce water, which is not toxic. And in the case of the methanol one, they produce carbon dioxide and water. Last question. A colour television set employs a 25,000 volt electron accelerator to produce the picture, and potentially harmful radiation is produced, which must be shielded against. The main component of this radiation consists of what? Is it electrons which penetrate the picture tube? Is it soft X-rays? Is it microwaves? Or is it ultraviolet radiation?
Oh.
Not so much a problem these days because they don't use accelerated electrons to make the picture.
Oh, bugger, Paul. I'm going to go with but yeah, I wasn't. It depends. I'm not quite sure where the line between hitting the Blue's answer and my answer is.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'll go with that one.
I know by the time you've got it up to over 100 kV, you're into the hard X-rays.
I can tell you, Alan, that most glass will shield against what you put down. So the glass at the front of the tube would shield against what you put down.
It's
that's not saying you're right,
tube.
Alan.
No, it's not saying you're right.
Waiting for the clue. Brainery's waiting for the clue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've already put my answer down, so...
That's a pretty good hint.
Yeah, that is a very good hint. Ultraviolet radiation. Microwave.
No.
No, you got me beat, sorry.
And the answer is, of course, soft X-rays. X-rays are generated when you stop electrons fast. I mean, that's how X-rays are produced in X-ray machines in the hospital. They basically shoot electrons at a piece of metal, and the piece of metal stops those electrons very fast. And they produce X-rays by doing that.
What an X-ray tube is.
Yep, pretty much. That's right. So when you shoot the electrons in your electron gun at the front of the TV, at the CRT, they stop. And when they do so, they produce X-rays.
Yep. The worst of the worst sort, really.
Yeah.
Those soft X-rays won't do what you're seeing in that video right there.
No, that's right.
They don't penetrate very, very well.
No.
And they'll just
which
produce
means
a
they're
lot
absorbed.
of tissue damage. Yeah. They get absorbed and damage stuff inside you.
I found it interesting that there used to be, years ago in America, an X-ray machine that used to X-ray kids' feet or people's feet to help to determine their shoe size.
Oh yeah.
And it was
I remember that.
It was used regular.
Yeah, I remember that as a kid. They had those machines. The kid to stand on the machine and they do it. It's a fluoroscope.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. That's your quiz for the day. Done.
And the usual.
So that was a bit of a harder one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a harder one today.
Yeah. But there was some there that I could wrap my head around, except for the equations and molecules and.
Well, you still probably learnt something from it, though.
Yeah. Well, we're here to learn. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're nearly time to wrap up. We've been going for that amount of time. Everyone's free to chip in if anything they want to What's the word for it? Yeah, I've forgotten words. Shit.
You're having a brain fart, are you, Terry?
Yeah, I hate it when I have a brain fart.
Hey, you've been holding your farts in, Terry. Come on.
Yeah, I've been holding them in too long. I better not let him out in one go
Yeah,
though.
go on.
To shill, or to, yeah, I can only think of the word shill. To shill themselves with of anything. How you going with your 3D stuff, printing stuff and all that, Sheepy? He was here. Gone to sleep. Well, Sheepy's gone to sleep.
The printing stuff is underway. I'm just finishing up some print jobs actually. Got to kind of use a lot of days of the week to get all the prints finished. They're long prints. They're not short prints. Printing it at full size. So yeah, and it's a big waste if I.
Is your business picking up at all, or is it just a bit slow still?
The last couple of weeks, I've noticed an increase in people willing to spend money again. But yeah, I think as time goes on, with the lockdowns being lifted and now for a while, people a bit more confident in the future, at least in New Zealand directly. So I think that's having something to do with it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear.
None of the customers I spoke to have got back in touch with me. So I think restructuring of the business might actually have forced the budget into a position that it's not ideal for a purchase like a 3D printer at a high end. So
yeah.
Oh well.
Oh. How about you, Blue? You got anything going? I suppose, final thoughts. That's what bloody Jose calls it, doesn't he? Yeah. Final thoughts. Everyone has a final thought. Just depends on. Okay, then we'll finish up then.
I haven't even got a special nut tonight, Terry.
Oh no. What about a hexagon nut? Or a nylock nut?
Yeah.
Only us car guys and carpentry guys don't know what a nylock nut is.
I'm not that much of a car guy, but I know nylock nuts. I hate nylock nuts. Nylock nuts can go and do whatever. When you've got like a dozen M6 set screws and nylock nuts to do up, in a position where you can't get a socket onto either end, or even a ring spanner, the only option you've got is an open-ended spanner. And to do these nuts up, you have to lay on the floor with your arms fully extended underneath something to tighten up the flange of a pipe that's coming out the bottom in a gap that's about 100 mil wide.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, well, and half of them are behind the pipe that you're trying to tighten, the rectangular pipe that you're trying to join together. Yeah, it's I hate nylock nuts.
Well, they have their usages. They do have their usages. Okay. Oh, I hope you all enjoyed the show, and we'll continue with a little bit of the Industrial Revolution's steam power. We're going to eventually make our way to some petrol engines, I hope. So Don't worry, one day we'll invent the computer and then we'll be all back to where we started from. Okay then. Well, thanks Sheepy. Thanks Alan. Thanks. Oh shit, now I've got to remember how to spell his name. Say his name. Gottlieb Daimler.
Gottlieb.
Gottlieb. Yeah. And Blue. Who'd we have out there? Brainery, Kristen, Miro, Demon Orb, Zebulon, John Stock. Oh, we're doing that there, John. Scott. Oh, Scott was out there too. Brainery, John, Demon Orb. I don't remember who was there earlier. Miro, Dartman. I seem to be repeating myself here with a lot of these names. I'll scroll up too far. And I don't know if I'm going to reset the spanners or not. I haven't really thought of it. I thought of doing it, but Zebulon was out there. Oh, Glaby was out there. PhD Gleam. Fred. I probably missed some. Oh, Peter was out there too. I remember him earlier. Okay, John. John Rapp. Okay, well, catches. If we do an after in between stream, that'll be a random thing. If not, we'll see you on Wednesday evening. So it's good night, panel. Good night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
Good night, Peanuts.
See ya.
Oh, Blue's awake now.